The Buddhist perspective on dealing with suffering and pain revolves around the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, which are central teachings of Buddhism. These teachings provide a framework for understanding and ultimately overcoming suffering. Here's an overview of how Buddhism approaches suffering and pain. 1. The Four Noble Truths. Dukkha, suffering or unsatisfactoriness. The first noble truth acknowledges the existence of suffering in human life. It encompasses physical and emotional pain, dissatisfaction, and the inevitable hardships of life. Samadaya, the origin of suffering. The second noble truth teaches that suffering arises from craving and attachment. It is our desires, clinging to things, and the illusion of permanence that lead to suffering. Nirodha, the cessation of suffering. The third noble truth asserts that it's possible to end suffering by eliminating the causes. This means letting go of attachment, desire, and ignorance. Magga, the path to the cessation of suffering. The fourth noble truth outlines the Eightfold Path, which provides a guide for living a wholesome life that leads to the cessation of suffering. 2. The Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path is a set of ethical and mental guidelines that Buddhists follow to cultivate wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. It's divided into three categories. Wisdom prajna, right understanding, developing a correct understanding of the Four Noble Truths. Right intention, cultivating intentions of compassion, goodwill, and non-harm. Ethical conduct, right speech, speaking truthfully, kindly, and beneficially. Right action, acting in ways that are non-harmful and morally upright. Right livelihood, engaging in work that doesn't harm others. Mental discipline, samadhi, right effort, cultivating wholesome qualities and abandoning unwholesome ones. Right mindfulness, developing awareness of one's thoughts, emotions, and actions. Right concentration, cultivating focused and concentrated states of mind through practices like meditation. End of all suffering. The Buddha's story. The story of Siddhartha Gautama, who later became known as the Buddha, is central to Buddhism. Siddhartha was born into a life of privilege and luxury, but was deeply troubled by the suffering he witnessed in the world. He embarked on a spiritual journey, seeking answers to the nature of suffering and the path to its end. After years of meditation and self-discovery, Siddhartha achieved enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. He gained profound insights into the Four Noble Truths and the path to the cessation of suffering. The Buddha's teachings, based on these insights, have since become the foundation of Buddhism. In summary, the Buddhist perspective on dealing with suffering and pain involves acknowledging the existence of suffering, understanding its origins in desire and attachment, following the Eightfold Path to cultivate wisdom and ethical conduct, and ultimately striving for the cessation of suffering through meditation and mindfulness. The story of the Buddha's own journey serves as an inspiration and example for Buddhists on their own path to enlightenment and the end of suffering.